You like R&B slow jams?
I like this slow jam. All right, I'll do this one. Welcome to an Invested Podcast. I don't know what episode this is at all.
I want to say it's 10.
I think it's 10. Ooh. My name is Terry. I'm with Connor.
Hey.
Hey-o. I gotta mute this computer before it explodes on us. We have a weird episode to do today. Just a little bit of news and then a lot of trailers.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go crazy on those trailers. But would you like to hear my news, Connor?
Yes, I want to hear it. Please.
The news. All right, so right now, only I have is the Gambit movie. You know, Gambit, the card throwing guy. Apparently,
that's his thing.
Yeah, that's his thing. Starring Channing Tatum, supposedly. It recruited the Mad Max Fury Road costume designer.
That guy, yeah.
But which is weird that this was a news, but they still haven't. They don't have a director yet.
You remember the costumes of Mad Max? All like the sand. When they were
Isn't that weird? Why would they talk about that? That's so strange to me.
Maybe this is a hint. They're saying like, by the way, we got the
George Miller is gonna do that.
George Miller's doing. Actually, I would watch a Gambit. George Miller.
Absolutely.
But no, it's like he made apocalyptic, crazy outfits with like makeup and weird stuff. So he's probably gonna do that too with this.
What are we getting at? I guess right? like a steampunk Gambit movie.
Steampunk Gambit. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any comment on that? I don't know.
No.
I just find it strange. That they still don't even have a director, but like they're announcing costume designers from other movies.
Well, those people got to eat.
It's like people are like, "Hey, what about Gambit?" And they're like, "Crap! What piece of news do we have? Let's costume designer."
The costume though. The costume.
I guess the costume's important for Gambit.
Costume is character, I guess, right? That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Costume is character. That's kind of true, because like Darth Vader. Is like
he's all costume,
or at least he is all costume until you get James.
Until you
Earl
learn
Jones.
that he doesn't like sand, then you're like, oh, there's more to this character.
It gets everywhere.
No, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Tom Holland has called out Mark Ruffalo for his bad secret keeping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came out and was like, yeah, Mark Ruffalo's bad. Did you hear what he did? Mark Ruffalo apparently went and saw an early screening of Thor Ragnarok and accidentally streamed the first, like, half hour of it. Just the sound on his phone.
Wow.
Through, like, the thing he was doing, whatever, yeah.
That's...
And, like, he's been spoiling Avengers and all that stuff and, like, where the Hulk's going to be eventually and things like that. And Tom Holland apparently doesn't like that when he does that.
Tom Holland's really...
He's probably trying to make up for all his trailers being complete spoilers for his own movie.
That's probably true. I mean, that's crazy. It's weird. I think it's theater. It's a little bit of bread and circuses. You know what I mean?
It's probably just a little bit of witty banter.
Probably a little bit of witty. I feel
they're
like
showing that they're all friends.
I feel like there's somebody at Marvel that's like, so now we're gonna have Civil War, but it's in the real world. It's cross promotion. You know, we got the Spider-Man guy talking about the Thor Ragnarok guy, so you can see both these movies. Please see both these. I imagine there's a Marvel teaser trailer, and it's just a Marvel executive being like, "Please watch these movies." Oh, for real? That's like a legit thing. Remember when X-Men Apocalypse came out, and there was the actors who came out before the movie, and they're like, "Please watch this movie."
Yeah, they even did a thing for X-Men. Days of Future Past, where they put the trailer in the credits of Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, that was awful.
Or Amazing Spider-Man 2, I can't remember which one it was.
It was Amazing Spider-Man 2.
They were so afraid of people not watching their movies.
Yeah, they're like,
Marvel shouldn't have to worry about that at all.
That's true.
I don't think they do, to be honest with you, especially with these next coming in ones. So do you care about Jurassic World?
Do I care about it?
Yeah, do you care about it at all?
Not really. I kind of think it's not very good.
No, it was fun to watch. Good. Jurassic World 2, which I can't remember the name of.
I'm hyped for Jurassic World 2, though, because I don't have a short memory, and I don't know how to pay attention.
All right, the name of Jurassic World 2 is...
Who's directing it? Is it
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, director J.A. Boyana. He did...
yeah.
He did When a Monster Calls.
Jab.
He did When a Monster Calls. He did The Orphanage.
Oh, he's directing kids' movies. These are like, oh wow, he makes movies about kids who are going through traumatic shit. So I guess Jurassic Park 3 is about
hipster
Jurassic.
look. So Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom has announced that the trailer will happen with the release of Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh, is it set in the Middle Ages?
I don't even know what the synopsis is. I'm actually really curious.
It's like I don't want to. I don't want to spoil things for you, Terry. I always feel bad because I feel like I spoil things for you.
Like for what? What don't you want to spoil right now?
It's just so many things, just like pop culture in general.
Like what? As long as it's not Thor, and I'm fine.
Okay, there's a comic book series called Green Valley, which is really good.
Yeah.
And there's this
I probably won't read it.
You're not gonna read it? Are you sure?
Probably
it's really
not.
good.
I've never heard of it until now. So.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, I'll spoil it for you. Spoilers for Green Valley. Okay. So Green Valley is basically, short synopsis, is a story about these knights who are like medieval knights, right? There's like 4 of them. They're kind of like, they work together to, protect a kingdom, basically. And it's kind of like, they use a little bit of strategy, it's not ye old stuff. Like, they're not like, going on huge soliloquies. It's very modern. Just in the way they talk and everything, it's very it's not gritty. It's just honest. It's like feels like a realistic portrayal of what 4 medieval knights would be like, who like get shit done. Now, the thing is, they in the beginning of the graphic novel, like this huge traumatic thing happens, and they like have a terrible thing that happens to them, and then it cuts to like years later, and a boy comes up to them and is like, you guys need to come help save my village because there's an evil wizard there, right? And they're like, well, wizards and magic don't exist. Like, that's because this is the world that we're set up. Like, wizards and magic do not exist. And so they go to the village to see what's up, and it's like, at first they're like, oh wow, this is an actual wizard. Then they realize it's just like a time traveler from the future who has future technology. And they kept being told, like, there's dragons. They're dinosaurs that the time traveler brought with them. And like, they have to like fight.
My eyes just widened, by the way, for people who didn't see that.
Oh yeah, it's cool, right? It's a fun idea.
I have a reaction. It's my eyes are widening.
It
should be a Netflix series.
I totally should. Yeah, it's really good. It's like short comic. It's really fun. It's a good read.
What does this have to do with Jurassic World?
Well, Fallen Kingdom. Yeah. I was like, is this going to be like Green Valley, where it's like Fallen Kingdom? It's like Jurassic Park set in the medieval era.
It's not, because it has the characters from Jurassic World in it.
But here's the thing, though.
Unless they find a time machine.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, too.
They're going to link up with Back to the Future.
BTF. Well, I mean, it's Steven Spielberg's... although Steven Spielberg didn't produce Back to the Future, I think he was like the executive producer on that. Because all the movies start with like... Steven
that's
Spielberg
his movie,
presents, yeah. But it's Robert Zemeckis, who's a hack. Directed it.
He's a hack.
He's a hack.
I don't know why is he a hack?
Forrest Gump.
Me too.
I hate that movie so much.
I'm Not Alone.
Yeah, that
everybody
movie
hates
sucks.
that. Everybody loves that movie, and I say I don't like it, and they're always like,
oh my god.
I get thrown up. People throw up on me.
It's like
they projectile vomit onto my face when I say I don't like Forrest Gump.
I don't think Tom Hanks is a bad actor, but I think it's a stupid character. It's a dumb role.
I don't like him.
Yeah, it's like, this does not make sense.
I don't like the time.
This is not empowering. This is not a character who actually has mental illness. He's like a fake. He's like a fake character.
It's like they tried to remake that movie with what's his name?
It's literally just luck. He literally just has luck. It's not. There's no meaning. There's no message to Forrest Gump.
What's that movie with Steve?
Steve?
Oh gosh.
Shit.
Who's the guy in Cheap by the Dozen?
Oh, Steve Martin?
Yeah, Steve Martin. The movie with Steve Martin.
Oh, The Jerk.
The Jerk.
The Jerk is way better.
That's way better movie. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that. But
very similar. But the thing with The Jerk is like it's always causal to what he's done, right? So it's not just he lucks into things. It's that his naivete, right, allows him, and his literalism forces him to confront, his kind of his ambition, right? Yeah. His kind of like the way the things he wants, his desire, right? Because as his desire keeps expanding, it's sort of like a capitalist story. It's very strange. Now, Forrest Gump is a story about somebody. I hate this thing because there's always this thing where he'll be like, and then I got to meet so and so, and did you know I don't understand politics or social events or like the world or anything, but 10 years later that man died and stuff like that. Like he's like this weird like father time character, like this. They eventually made him a god, and I'm like get out of here. I don't care about this. I'd much rather watch a movie about like a dumb kid who has like really severe mental issues, and then like who keeps failing and all this stuff, kind of like what was that movie by the Coen brothers, Inside Llewyn Davis? Inside Llewyn Davis,
movie.
but with the dumb kid, kind of like Reverse Flowers for Algernon. I would watch the shit out of that movie.
And you're waiting for the moment where he triumphs, and it just never happens.
Yeah, it never happens. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Really sad, but yeah. I'm sure
No, I mean, well, sad, yeah, but it's like that's what I want to watch. I want to watch characters who like go through shit. I don't want characters like, oh boy, I created like the happy logo just by touching my face with this like a t-shirt. It's like
Tom Hanks has a lot of luck in his movies. He gets a job in Big. He gets a job at the candy store or the toy store just by dancing on a piano.
Although the best Tom Hanks role is Woody in Toy Story, because Woody is a character who's perpetually in pain.
He's pathetic, yeah.
And he's always like yelling at people, and he's always like jealous of Buzz, and he's always like conniving. He's awesome. He's like such a fun like damaged character. Yeah. He's so cool, and it's a kids movie, so you never really think about that stuff.
Pixar's kids, but it's also adults. Yeah.
I would argue that all the villains in the Toy Story franchise, all the like Sid and like what was the bear Plotso, and like even Zurg to a little extent, are all that's Woody. That's like he's
Lotso Huggin' Bear. Yeah, he's definitely Woody. He's absolutely.
And his personality allows these. It's kind of like the thing with like that they say in Arkham City. It's like your presence creates these animals. It's like Woody's his like bullshit about his personality and his like negative self like creates the monsters that end up like hurting his entire tribe.
Right.
His family.
I've decided we're gonna have an episode where we go in depth on Pixar movies.
It's gonna be great.
All right, I have one little last thing. Marvel will release an official MCU timeline to address the confusion created by Spider-Man: Homecoming. So, do you remember how it was like 8 years later, and you're like, wait, 2020?
I made a little face when that happened. I was like,
yeah, I think everybody did. We were all like this is great. Wait a minute, what?
I can't pay attention because I'm counting now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, the theory is now though that Iron Man 2 takes place in Iron Man 1 2008, right. Hulk 2009, Iron Man 2 2009 to 10, and then Avengers is like a couple months after that, so 2010ish. Mm-hmm. And then from there, things are just like and so that makes Spider-Man take place in 2017.
Yeah. It's really sad that like there were so many reviews that were like, finally we have a movie that's actually set in the MCU and the plot is affected by repercussions of past movies, and it's like all it took was 10 years. Like, we made it.
So they're gonna come out with an official timeline that's gonna explain it, and if it's not what I just said it was, and it's something else, it could either be better, which I don't understand what could be, or it could just make things more confusing.
Right.
But we'll see what happens. I'm sure I trust them. I mean, I don't know why that was a thing, and why Kevin Feige was like, this makes sense. Like it was very strange why it wasn't just like 6 years later instead, but
they had I have no answer. It's what it is. It's math, and it's like logistics of like imaginary problems, which is always a gray area, because it's like how because part of me is like, if it's an Easter egg, that's cool, right? But like the idea of like having an exact timeline and having it be synced up to a numerical value versus being a causal event created by the characters is always, it's kind of like, it's a real trouble in paradise scenario. Because I think that's the problem with Marvel that we're going to encounter in the future is like, when does the Easter egg, the Easter egg as content, the Easter egg as the content of the film itself versus an Easter egg, right?
Yeah.
So supplicating to the fans like all the things they want without actually focusing on the larger picture of creating a dynamic, drama that plays out. And when I say drama, I mean like a story,
Instead of just that's why Spider-Man failed, the Amazing Spider-Man, because they were like, instead of just having a story.
Yeah, they're like the Rhino, and that's the problem
Sinister
too.
Six,
Sinister Six, Easter egg.
But it works for Marvel right now because all the movies are so connected, and the things they reference already exist instead of referencing things that are going to exist.
Right. Well, with Marvel,
the only thing Marvel does is Infinity Stones.
Right. That's I think the Infinity Stones are the things that are holding Marvel back a little bit. So that's why everyone's eager for all the Infinity War movies. Just because once those are done, everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. Like they were done, they were good or fine, and then
or terrible.
I think they'll be okay.
They'll be great. Like they'll be a lot of fun. They may not be perfect movies. They'll be fun though.
Like I don't like I trust the Russos. Like they haven't really made a bad movie yet. So
they've only made 2 movies.
Fine. Yeah, that's true. It's not entirely false.
But they've made 2 of the best Marvel movies.
Yeah. Like definitely. Like I totally trust them. I remember I was like such a little Joss Whedon fanboy when the first Avengers came out.
Well, he did a great job with that movie. That movie's still fantastic.
Yeah, that movie.
You go back and watch it, and there's always. It's just like I went back just to watch one scene like a few weeks ago, and I ended up watching the whole thing.
Oh, really?
I was just like, this movie's great. One scene after that, I was like, oh, I love this scene. Oh, I love this scene. And it just kept going and going and going.
But it's funny. That used to be my favorite Marvel movie, and then Winter Soldier became my favorite Marvel movie. And then they were like, oh, the Russos might do the new Avengers. And I was like, hey, but that's not fair because they made a great movie. And like, I was all like upset. But now I'm like, it's great. Now I'm like, go for it.
After the
Ultron's kind of a letdown.
Somewhat fine Avengers 2. Which I still like, but at the same time, I see the issues.
Stuff I like, and
I can see Joss Whedon.
I liked it more in retrospect than I did.
Joss Whedon can only handle a certain amount of characters. His limit's like 6 main characters. Add on 3 more, it's like boof. So Infinity War, and we've seen that they can handle a good chunk of super big, powerful characters already. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. All right, we're gonna move on because we have a lot of trailers. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mash trailer trash segment with our real talk segment.
What?
Because we got a lot of trailers to really discuss. I want to just really talk about them, and I'm really very interested in hearing your discussion. So let's do it.
Trailer trash, real talk.
We're gonna start with New Mutants.
Let's do it.
So I don't really know what New Mutants is.
Okay. Oh yeah, they're.
So do you know anything about it?
A little bit. I know that there's one of them whose name is Magic, I believe. And the way the New Mutants have been explained to me is that they are kind of like this weird cross between like Justice League Dark, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the X-Men equivalent of Justice League Dark, where they're dealing with more supernatural
because this looks like it's trying to be a horror movie.
Yeah, which part of me is like, great, an X-Men horror movie, very exciting. But here's the thing.
Yes, but
like this does not look like that great of a horror movie. It looks
very cliched horror movie.
You know what? If this came out in the 90s, I'd be like, whoa. Like, I'd be excited for this. I'd be like, this is some cool stuff, man. You're doing cool stuff.
All right, so
but this is way too
What are your initial thoughts then?
The first thing I was like, is that the guy from Stranger Things?
It is the guy from Stranger Things. I was like,
why is he in this?
There's a weird scene.
I feel like he's like, he reminds me of like a Swedish actor who they're like, here, can you pretend to be an American actor?
Is he
like,
not an American actor?
No, I'm sure he's American. But that's just like the vibe I get off him. It's like he's pretending to be.
That must mean he's not I think he's a pretty good actor. He seems to do alright.
Yeah, I mean he's okay, but like it's weird. His accent is so flat that it seems like fake.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we got to get to the power plant, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. So it's got what's her name who plays Arya Stark.
Oh yeah,
she's playing a character. I just feel like that's because what's her name is playing Phoenix, Jean.
Oh,
so she was like, "Can my best friend come play a character in the X-Men universe?" And she was like, "Sure."
Yeah, put her in the New Mutants movie. No one's gonna see that one.
So your initial thoughts? My thoughts were, I saw this and I was like, "This is a cool idea. It's probably not going to be good."
Yeah, not gonna be good. I'm curious who the director is. That's what I want to know the director and the writer, because those,
all right,
as we've learned, those are kind of the two big things about quality.
Yeah.
All right,
we have Well, oh no, movie. I mean the movie, not the book.
I could be wrong about New Mutants, by the way, being like a supernatural.
All right, director Josh Boone. Screenplay Josh Boone. Knott Lee.
I feel like I've heard his name before, but
Josh Boone did The Fart in Our Stalls, The Fault in Our Stars, Stuck in Love, and All We Had. All seem to be romantic comedies.
And now he's making the jump to
He's making a horror movie.
Josh
There's not a lot of superpowers in this, it seems.
Yeah.
They don't really show anything. They have the same effect in Stranger Things with the wall.
Well, do you notice that too with the X-Men properties now? Is like every time an X-Men character shows their powers, it's like telekinesis, fire, purple light. Yeah, it's very much. It feels like a type of electricity, light force that pushes things away.
So for me,
it's never like, here's my power to like turn someone into gold. It's like, or that's
so
it.
the thing about mutants, and this is not really anything to do. The reason why they don't work for me as well is because they're trying to push it like it's a mutation.
Right.
In the human genome that makes you have these powers. Why the heck would someone shoot ice out of their hand?
Oh, yeah.
That's not a mutation. A mutation, like Wolverine's mutation, feels so realistic to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Well,
you know what I mean?
To me, in the comics, Iceman, like, at least in a lot of stuff I've read, he's all ice.
Yeah, no, they eventually did that in, like, Days of Future Past. He turned all ice. He can turn it on up. But, like, why?
I mean all ice all the time.
Oh, all the time? That's
in the comics, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then I'm like, that's a mutation, buddy.
Like, shooting lasers out of your eyes is not a mutation. That's just, like, a superpower.
Well, that's Scott Summers. His thing is, like, it's a concussive blast, and it's weird. So it's not like, you think it's like, oh, it's a laser, it's hot.
It's not real laser. It's not. Yeah, it just pushes stuff.
It just pushes stuff. And it's not coming from his eyes. There's like portals in front of his eyes, and he's like, it's energy from another dimension coming through the portal. Isn't that strange?
What?
It's super weird. Yeah.
He doesn't just have laser vision?
No, he does not have and so it's so funny in the movies when everything's on fire, and it's like, that's not how that works.
God. Oh, that's so weird. All right. Well, anyway, back to New Mutants. I don't know. Final thoughts on it? Do you?
I mean, yeah. Well, it's funny because when I was watching this, I was like, oh man, an X-Men horror film. That's kind of fun. And then I was like, wait a second.
Is it rated PG-13 or R? If it's rated PG-13,
it seems like PG-13.
It's not going to work out too well.
Although Wolverine was R, so
yeah, I know exactly. That's why I'm wondering if they're making a jump.
But it looks PG-13. It doesn't look R. But when I was watching this, I was like, oh yeah, X-Men horror film. That's really fun. And then I thought, wait a second, like Legion, which is one of the best X-Men things ever, has like a part that's like one of the best horror sequences ever. So it's like, it's so funny. All the X-Men movies, all like the X-Men TV shows that are coming out now, are just feel like everyone who wanted to, like, they feel like Legion. I don't know. It's weird where I'm like, they saw how successful Legion was and like how good it was, and they're like, man, I wish we had done that. Let's do that now. Like, it feels like everyone's trying to get in on the Legion train. Yeah. Legion was just so good. Like, it was just awesome.
All right, we're going to move on to our next trailer, which is Black Panther. Mm-hmm. I got to say, I was a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, I liked the first trailer more. But I think I liked the first trailer more because I like Run the Jewels. Yeah. And I liked the images without the story. And so this one, the story feels a little bit more like a Marvel movie. It feels like a little bit more predictable. Because before it was just images over that sick beat. And I was like...
That sick beat. All right, so... I mean, the visuals. So you could speculate. The visuals are kind of cool. I don't know why she's driving a ship with her hands. There's nothing there.
Terry doesn't like future technology.
Did they forget to? No. Do you think she was like, okay, now you're gonna put your hands like up like this, and we'll just CGI in something later?
And they were like, oh, it's the future. That's our excuse.
We forgot to do it. I don't like the suits.
Oh, it's
forming onto people.
Yeah, that was weird. It
happens more than once.
It's like they're all like sparkling, not like
It looks like I don't know.
I think it's so funny because I remember you saying this like that you were crestfallen about how futuristic Wakanda was because it feels like it devalues the legacy of the Stark family.
And not even just that, but like the Stark and like Shield and all this stuff, you know. Oh, but mainly, I guess Stark because it makes his like Iron Man suit look like what? Okay, it's barely anything.
They got ding dang light cycles. Although I gotta say, the best part of this trailer is Michael B. Jordan and
Is that his real body though?
what?
Michael B. Jordan.
I don't think he's got the little things on him.
I know that, but like he looks like he's wearing a suit.
No, I think that's real. I mean, have you seen Creed?
No.
Yeah, that's real.
Okay.
That's real.
Like okay, so that effect where
it looks like his skin falls off.
yeah, it looks like his his jacket literally disintegrates.
Yeah, that's weird.
It just doesn't look very good. It looks like he looks like he's morphing Power Ranger.
Animorphs.
Like
oh my god, it's Black Panther Animorphs.
He looks like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, and I'm not excited about that effect at all. I feel like that's just going to annoy me.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff in here.
Like, so there's an Iron Man suit in the comics, the Extremis suit, that does that. It basically morphs like it's liquid over his body. And when they said in the third one they were going to have an Extremis suit, I was nervous because I don't want that to be a thing.
Oh yeah.
That technology it's too far. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that his suit can come and build around him is fine to me. I think that's good. It makes sense because the pieces just kind of click together. But having a suit be liquid and like just kind of form around him out of nowhere is just like that's too much. It breaks the barrier of reality for me, and it's just that's not fun. I know it's a Marvel movie, but
right. But there's like rules to how things work.
Yeah, you know? And it's just like, come on, like what is that technology? It's just stupid, you know.
It's vibranium. It's the new vibranium.
So that's another thing.
Thor melted it with his hammer.
So they have these vibranium. So the whole point in Civil War is that they made a suit made of vibranium or have vibranium in it. Right. It's like this super powerful suit that can't be shot, but now it's like a liquid that appears over his body.
Yeah. That's the somebody. I guess somebody missed the memo. The writers of Black Panther were like, they're like,
I don't know about this. I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to be a decent movie. It's probably going to be enjoyable.
What if it was?
Everybody's going to love it because it's Black Panther, and people are just going to love this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Like, it doesn't look bad. It looks really fun.
But I don't know.
But yeah, there's some strange choices. It feels a little too loud in like all the matte little like silvery effects and all the little electricity and everything. But part of me is like, it's still early.
I am very excited about Claw though.
Yeah,
there's that scene where he hangs out the door and he's like, "Let me see what I can do," and he like shoots something with his claw hand.
My favorite thing is that shot of him and Michael B. Jordan in that like museum together.
I remember we talked about it before. And you said Michael's text.
Yeah,
I love you're excited about the scene where he has the vest on and the gun.
Yeah, because I'm like, what is this? And so that's already my favorite scene. And then I'm like, wait a second, they're best friends. I'm so excited. Like I can't wait to see Andy Serkis and Michael B. Jordan, who are two actors who I think are really great. Like play scenes off each other, and like they're both villains. And like, oh man, it's gonna be so cool.
So there's a comment I read on this trailer about people talking about how it's just a typical Marvel thing to have the main character fight another version of himself. So Iron Man and Ironmonger, Ant-Man and whatever the heck,
Yellow Jacket,
Hulk and Abomination. They just kept like even Captain America and all the super soldiers that fight him.
Well, I think that's more storytelling than anything, because like one of the most compelling parts of storytelling is making your antagonist a more sinister reflection of the hero.
Yeah.
They're like, what if the hero was other than himself? What if he like used his powers for evil, right? And that can be a compelling story, because then what you're talking about is the two sides of the mind. You're talking about using your abilities for gain versus a virtue for the greater good.
Right.
And in that point, you're not even talking about good versus evil. You're talking about pragmatism versus idealism. You're talking about the idea of what is the highest good? Is the highest good achieving your own ends, or is the highest good achieving ends for society? Or it's like, and those are stories you can tell when you have that kind of shadow of the main character who is, it's more overt than most people would like, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it's always fun. Although I think it's more fun when those characters are like the dragon versus like the main bad guy. Like they're the guy who works for the main bad guy. That's when the shadow archetype is more fun.
I guess I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean whatever. Anyway, any more thoughts?
Because they usually fulfill the function of a rival, right?
Yeah,
and a rival is not necessarily a major antagonist. Like they're more of like They're more of the person that as you're going up to fight the real bad guy, they are also...
like Buttface in the Pokemon game.
Is that what you named him?
I know, honestly, I just kept his name. A lot of people named him Buttface or Ass or whatever, but I just left him
I
as...
think I named him Pikachu. I don't know why.
Connor's just playing like, is this my first Pokemon? I'll name him Pikachu.
Yo, it's like, you don't own people, Connor. Pikachu.
Connor, you gotta learn.
You gotta learn.
Any more thoughts on Black Panther trailer?
It looks fun. I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be good. I got a little nervous because there were like tiny little moments in the trailer where I'm like, oh no, the script has been in a box for years, which is the thing that I hate the most in movies. And there's like little moments where I can tell, like, because I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of like the first Thor movie. This kind of reminds me of Ant-Man a little bit, like just tiny little moments, but nothing too bad. Otherwise, it looks really fun. I'm excited.
I don't like the
There's
music.
some weird Doctor Strange stuff going on, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? And then Doctor Strange was another movie that, again, felt like it had been in a box for 10 years, and I was like, ugh.
That's true. Doctor Strange is kind of a weak movie. Like, it's fun and it's enjoyable, but it's a little weak.
Yeah.
I've seen...
I watched it once.
I think I've seen it once or twice, yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whatever.
I'm fine. It's so funny, and I was so hyped for Doctor Strange, too. I wasn't hyped on the trailer. I was hyped on the idea, and I was like, ooh, Scott Derrickson, he'd done some horror movies. So I was hoping for some, like, really spooky, like...
It could have been, yeah,
and then it was just, like, looking into a kaleidoscope. And I was like, the villain is a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, that whole... Okay, real quick. That whole, like, them doing the weird, like, hand movement and everything turns into kaleidoscopes had no effect on anything.
It was super weird.
What was the point of it? And then they go like this the other way, and everything goes back to normal. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand. It's like the mirror dimension and all this stuff, and it's like...
What does it do? It didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything.
It just looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it was just an effect. What if we make our whole movie based on an effect and not the character? Let's
Although I was a huge fan of the end fight, where instead of it being like a massive fight, he just...
Oh, it's the time machine?
The time thing.
Yeah,
He keeps
that's the best part.
Thing.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite scene in that movie, other than the end fight, is him... like using the time stuff, especially on the Apple and all that stuff. Yeah. Like all the stuff with the time
all the stuff
thing
and learning.
cool.
Yeah, him learning stuff was fun.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
really it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're gonna move on.
I don't understand. It's so funny because I love Chiwetel Ejiofor, the guy who plays Mordo, and he in the movie he was just kind of like there, like he didn't feel like he was like playing as a well-rounded character.
Yeah.
And which is crazy because this was after 12 Years a Slave. Right? Which is like one of my favorite movies ever. Like,
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, he's so good in it. He's
I don't want
awesome.
to see that movie.
It's so good, Terry. It's so good. Like it's really good.
It just seems like it's gonna be a sad one. It's like I don't want to.
No. I will. Okay, of course it's sad, but it's like there's some really amazing scenes. Like I like. Because that's the problem too I have with like especially like history movies is I'm like Dances with Wolves and all that stuff where I'm like I get it, you know, even stuff like, what do you call it? That movie that I was supposed to watch.
Dunkirk?
Dunkirk, yeah.
Dunkirk is amazing. I can't express to you
how you feel about Dunkirk is how I feel about 12 Years a Slave.
Not even close. I genuinely know that for a fact. It's not even close. There's a completely different reason of why I like Dunkirk. Dunkirk's much better than your 12 Years a Slave movie.
Whoa,
I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Let's let the Oscars decide. Although they always make bad decisions.
That's true. All right, whatever. We'll figure that out later. Stranger Things Season 2. Now, I know that I seem to be the only one, and at this point in the world, who likes Stranger Things. Everybody loved it. Now everybody hates it. I'm still like, I think it's fine.
Right.
And so this actually, I'm pretty excited about
I always didn't like it.
You were one of those people.
On the first day, I was like, I'm sick watching this. I'm sick watching this. I watched it all in one sitting.
Really? You didn't? I think that was a mistake, first of all.
It was a mistake.
No. Not in that way.
Through, I'm like, this is a mistake. Wait, what are my life choices?
Why would you watch it while I'm sitting is crazy.
Yeah, and then I was just like...
But I thought it was good. The characters were fun. I think Hopper,
It just felt like a watered-down version of all the stuff I love. And so I was like, you don't get points for doing the lame version.
I've heard people like get really mad that it's like, oh, it's just like it's taking all the tropes of this other stuff.
Well, no, that's fine. That's fine to take them. That's cool. That's the purpose of art, is to like to build off what others have done before you.
Yeah.
But they kind of like neuter them a little bit. They kind of like take away their bite a little bit. They take away the impact and like some of the magic in favor of like this weird aesthetic where it's like, but you know, it's because they're trying to make. It's kind of like stop trying to make fetch happen. They're trying to make like the upside down happen, and I'm like, why is like the upside down, this other dimension, just gray? Like, why isn't like a crazy like acid trip Wonderland?
It would be kind of cool if it was a crazy acid trip.
Yeah, with like different characters. Like, what if there was like the monsters were could talk?
I think a big part of it was budget.
That's true, but like you can pull off anything.
These Duffer Brothers, no one really wanted them to make this show, and Netflix was like, "Fine, make it, whatever. We'll see how it goes." And they made it. It got so successful. I give them a lot of props for being.
I think this show got successful for the same reason Walking Dead did, where it filled a niche that people were hungry for, but it isn't necessarily quality. It's just the first one. Right? It's just the first show of it.
So I guess we'll have to see. I watched a few. My mom's watching it now for the first time, and I watched a few episodes with her, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. I really enjoy it. I think the characters are fun.
I mean, yeah, it's not like, I don't think it's like super. To say it's not bad is disingenuous, but I think that it's not as horrible as I'm making it out to be. It's like definitely made with. It's not overtly bad. Like, it's definitely made with a little bit of craft and like there's some fun moments. But more than anything, it just feels like they kind of touch at these larger themes, these larger ideas, but they never follow through. They never execute. And when they do, it's like it feels, you know.
So what are your thoughts on this trailer? This trailer 2, season 2 trailer.
I don't like this trailer as much as I like the first one.
Really?
Yeah. Okay,
because I got to say, this is the first time we both watched it, and I was like, this organ music's awesome.
The organ music's great.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And I'm excited. I'm excited. For me, it's like, I like all the characters. Most of the characters, like Steve, the guy with the hair. I'm so excited he's back. That's very exciting to me. Like, and the fact that they're all in this, I feel like the story's going to start, and all the characters are going to be like, all right, let's take care of it. And they're all going to be where they were when the first season ended, where we all wanted them to be at the end anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, it took a while for them all to like get together and take care of the problem at the first season. Yeah.
So we won't have none of that Mishigash of them.
Yeah, Mishigash. Yeah, whatever that word is. We'll have none of that Mishigash. It's going to be just them taking care of business. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be like when the Avengers are finally together. They get to the point. Yeah, it's going to be cool. And that's how I got this feeling. I was like, oh, cool. And Sean Astin? I love Sean Astin. That's cool he's in this, you know? I had no idea.
I mean, there's some really fun visuals. I think that's why I like the trailers for the second season a lot, is because there's way more fun visuals and tone than the first season.
Yeah.
Although, you know, it's so funny too, because I'm like, everyone's so hype on Eleven. It's like, Eleven's such a great character. I'm like,
she's a good actress though, that's for sure.
It's like you're trying to tell the E.T. story, but I feel like E.T. at least like kind of had some personality, and Eleven's personality is like just angry all the time, angry and like.
No, I gotta honestly,
angry and shy.
I'm watching a few scenes in the first season again. She's a really good actress. I think that's a big part of why people like her. It's not even her character.
The problem.
She's just a really good.
I mean, she's fine in the role, but I don't think the character is what I personally, the choices that I would have wanted. Yeah. Like, for instance, in the show Dirk Gently, I don't know how much you've watched.
I haven't watched any of it.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah. There's a character named Bart Churlish, right?
Yeah.
Who is a holistic assassin, which is exactly what it sounds like, and it's essentially like. She's like a Beetlejuice type character. She's really weird. She kind of talks like this, you know, and she's like always like pathologically dirty all the time. And it's one of the most interesting and fun characters I've ever seen, right? And I'm like, this is a character who is like totally missed the boat as far as like early childhood socialization. This is a character who's extremely messed up, experimented on by the government. Like that, this is like the key, because they have like a real personality that isn't like, because I'm sure, like the thing about, and that's the thing too, is like I don't know if Eleven's lack of personality is basically just due to the idea of being a child and also being introverted. Because if you're a child and you're introverted, how much of your personality can you really manifest?
I think that's what it's kind of trying to say.
But I don't know if the manifestation of personality isn't connected to the idea of like, you know, when you're a kid and you like play make believe and like with your toys and stuff like that. It's like personality can manifest in that way, if not necessarily socially. So I'm, you know,
we'll see. Yeah, I guess we'll see where she gets. And I think the weakest part of these shows is Winona Ryder's character.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
she's
why?
just yeah. I know that was a weird choice to have.
I feel like she's
all one note. She doesn't really do anything.
They can't weird. You know what's weird? This actress is young. Emmy Rossum, doesn't she look like her?
Who's Emmy?
Emmy Rossum. She was in Phantom of the Opera.
What?
And she was in the what do you call it?
Give me something else.
Day After Tomorrow.
No.
She's in that show Shameless, I guess.
Oh wait.
Is that the one?
No. It wasn't she in Cloverfield? Her head got exploded.
No, you're thinking of Lizzie Kaplan.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, who
well,
plays
you know
Marlene
what?
Dietrich.
I don't know who that is, but whatever. I think she's a good actress. I think that the guy who all the kids are great. I mean, they're funny and they're silly and they're weird, but
Right.
they're good chemistry. And I don't
they're
know.
all good. I think I got
the show is a little bit
bait and switched by the show because like the show starts and they're like playing Dungeons and Dragons and I'm like, oh my god, like the show is gonna become Dungeons and Dragons, not necessarily like in a fantasy, like they go into a fantasy realm, but it's going to use the idea of gamification of this other realm. So like let's say they do go to the Upside Down, they're gonna have to use the stuff that they learned playing D&D and like the relationships they form playing that in the second half. And I was like, fun, cool idea.
Your expectations are just so crazy.
Oh yeah, because I want stuff to be good. I want stuff to be compelling.
I go
interesting.
into things with an open mind, not knowing what it's
I
about.
hope it's not bad.
I had no
Transformers.
I had no idea what Stranger Things was, and everybody was like, "Hey, you should watch it." I was like, "Okay," and I did. And I was like, "Oh, that was fun."
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
It's okay. It's not nothing. It's not atrocious, but it's just like I think the problem.
I think it has too much hate right now. I think people hate it
too
all
much
of a
hate.
sudden.
Wow.
All of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, I hated that. It was just a rehash of all the stuff from the '80s. Could we come up with something original?" It's just like
it's like no. That's fine to rehash stuff from the 80s. A lot of my favorite stuff is rehashed from the 80s. That's fine.
Yeah.
With this particularly, this is just a situation where I don't feel they expand about it. Like Mr. Robot is a rehash of like a lot of my favorite films, but it expands upon those conceits in ways which you don't even know because you haven't finished season 2, which is the best season. You're killing me.
I want to talk about it.
Oh God, Terry! I just I want to talk about season 2 so much. It's so good. It's wonderful. Justice League.
A big reason why I stopped Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah, I am curious about it.
Is because it started to get political, and I hate when things get political in TV shows.
Why?
It's just like, stop. Just let me watch it and enjoy it.
What aspect got political for you?
I don't remember. I honestly can't remember. I was just like, oh, here they go. They're going to do protests or whatever. And I was like, I'm sick of this crap.
But I think it serves a purpose. And here's the thing, too. It's like, as much as, like, as I know that you're not a huge fan of talking about politics, I do think that like you and I have very similar views politically, just especially like in regards to economics.
Yeah.
And I think that Mr. Robot, all things aside, I mean this is kind of like a bit of a personal thing, but to me every political problem is an economic problem. Like the key root is economics, is an economic issue. And like every like thing about culture, every like clash or anything that happens, like even like all the way back to like the founding of the country or the Civil War, everything boils down to economics.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very logical thing that everybody can agree on. That's like that is the major issue, right? And I feel like Mr. Robot, even though is kind of like very free spirited in how it approaches the problem, does get to the human element of the fact that it is an economic issue.
I will go back and watch it. Try and watch it again.
It's so fun.
If I roll my eyes again, I'm done with this show. All right, we're gonna talk about Justice League. Oh, look, a trailer before the trailer. This is such a weird thing. I've pointed this out a lot, but like I don't understand why they do it. All right, so this new trailer. What are your thoughts on this new Justice League trailer?
I mean, it's so funny. It's like it's almost like Justice League with Gal Gadot. So it's like the Justice League.
She's got a lot of smirks and smiles in this one, doesn't she?
Well, that's the thing. Gal Gadot is like great. Like she'll never not be fun. And it's so funny because that's what people said about BVS.
Yeah,
is that her and Batman were the best part.
I want to give credits to the Weekly Planet and Mr. Sunday Movies. He looks like a duck in this scene, where he's standing in the cornfield, doesn't he?
He looks like a duck.
He's got a duck butt.
Oh yeah,
isn't that great?
Duck, yeah.
So I don't know, give credit to them, but like that's a great find there. So they kind of gave away Superman without really giving away Superman. It seems to be a dream of some kind.
Right. Which is weird. I like how they're like, oh, so I bet this is the start of the movie, is like, we're starting with like Lois Lane's perspective. And I bet when they thought of it, they were like, this is really like out there. We're focusing on the human element of Lois Lane. And part of me is like, you know what? No. You don't, DC, that's the wrong move. You gotta go cosmic. You gotta go weird. Start the movie in the weirdest cosmic, on Apocalypse, the weirdest space. Because it's like, don't try to be Marvel. Don't do what they're doing. Because Marvel's building up to the cosmic. But it's like, DC, you can just go.
Start right there.
You can just do that. You can just do the weird stuff. Do Mr. Mixelplick, you know, like the weird dude with the big hat who's like alternate dimension creature.
Do you really think that would work? That's such a risk, though.
Yeah, why not? It's like...
All right, that scene with her standing on the... We get a little bit of Wonder Woman standing on Miss Justice there. Get it, Justice?
Justice.
And I think it looks a little wonky and weird.
Yeah. That's so, a problem. Like,
all the colors have been like so like boosted up.
Well, DC is the story of their canon is that everyone here is gods. That's their ethos. That's their philosophy. That's their canon, right? That's why everyone in the DC universe is so incredibly superpowered. So they're telling the stories of like the pantheon of every culture, just updated with their as superheroes, right? But
yep.
When you get down to it, it's like they use that iconography. Because the thing is, the DC universe at its best is a commentary on this mythic iconography, but they use it like non-ironically. They use it at like, this is the final end game. Is you know the person standing triumphant. It's like, no, like it's a vehicle to tell these larger stories about people who have severely damaged personalities. Like Bruce Wayne is like a psychopath.
Yeah, he is,
and that's the most interesting thing.
Which is funny because so has Ben Affleck.
Whoa. It's so funny. It's like, maybe, yeah, sure. I'm so out of the loop when it comes to like information about famous people that I don't know.
I think he's a bit of a psychopath.
Is there a psychopath?
I think he's a good Bruce Wayne though.
I feel like anyone who's successful is probably a bit of a psychopath. Because you have to like get up so early.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, you have to get up early. It has nothing to do with all the fame. Alright, so one thing they do right in this Justice League, I have to say, is the poster of all of them standing. Mm-hmm. It looks just like the comics. It's great. It's so like old school comic book.
It looks like what's that guy? Alex Ross, the guy who did Kingdom Come. Do you remember that?
What that is?
He has a very specific art style.
So,
what is all this?
I don't know.
Anarchy.
It's just gonna restart. I don't know what that was about. So, a big complaint of all the DC movies is that there's no color.
Right.
So this movie looks like it's been color graded like crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think? That's a good or bad thing?
Well, it's weird because it's an overcorrection that misses the point, right?
She looks like she's Lois Lane does not look like a human in that.
It's like DC movies have no color, and it's like they don't have a balance of measured, vibrant colors that communicate ideas to the audience. This is just like they're literally like, I guess everything has to now be hyper, you know.
Yeah,
and like, it's funny too because
there's a quick scene with the Flash, like him here. It looks like an Instagram filter was put over him. Like it wasn't filmed in that.
It's not detailed. It's not specific. They're not and that's the problem with these movies is there's no coherent core that the story and the visuals can radiate out from that ties everything together. It's a mess. It looks like a hot mess. Like, look at all this stuff. This is garbage. Yeah, this is pure garbage.
We already know exactly how that end fight's gonna go, and that's what I don't like. So I want this movie to succeed.
Oh yeah, because if you told me like a Justice League movie was coming out when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, that's awesome.
This villain looks like a giant gray villain.
I wish the villain was the cop. The cop is like, I'm gonna crack down on these heroes.
So what do you think about this scene here with Aquaman flying around in the red sky?
It doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
My man.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. I hate that stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
He's just...
Why is Arthur Curry like...
Yeehaw! Like hippie. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Why is he like a cool guy?
So literally, all these trailers have shown scenes of the Flash, and the only thing I've seen him do is poke Wonder Woman's sword up, but other than that, it's just scenes of him running.
Yeah.
Which is a reason why I don't like the Flash.
That's true.
Because what does he do?
I mean, the coolest thing about the Flash is all the time travel stuff, and but that's it. And I like, and the cool thing about his villains are that they're like, they're like fast also.
So I want to talk
They're
about...
like traveling back in time in two different directions.
So
basically.
I don't really understand any of this because none of it makes sense. Like in Batman v Superman, the whole Flash coming back and time traveling. Mm-hmm. So I have a friend at work. I want to credit Mike. He was telling me about how his idea for how this movie is going to go, and he seems to think that Superman's going to come back in the black suit.
Okay,
he's going to come back evil because whoever that is, the bad guy, is going to bring him back.
Oh,
Darkseid's going to be like, "You're a bad guy. Fight the Justice League." And the only way to stop him would to bring Lois in. Right. So that's why in Batman v Superman, Flash comes back and is like, "Am I too early? The only way to stop him, Lois is the key." As he's running in place. Lois is the key. Am I early? So he wasn't talking.
He says, "Am I early?"
He says that, right? So he's not talking. So the whole time you're thinking he's talking about the Batman v Superman fight, but in reality he's talking about the Justice League fight.
Yeah. Am I early? I love that so much.
So I guess that makes sense. This is, I mean, maybe spoilers.
It's almost like he's like winking at the audience. "Oh, I'm early." Is this foreshadowing? It's foreshadowing.
Which, yeah, that scene was ridiculous because he wakes up.
Video about that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's great.
Ding 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 ding.
Boom! Where he's like, "I'm my own hype man." Woo!
It's so good.
I watched that video a lot.
It's so good.
Give Zack Snyder a call. Reality broken. That's so good.
Am I early? It's like he walked in on him in the bathroom. He's like, "What?"
So my thing is, if that is the truth, and that is,
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I like how you're doing this.
Yeah, I was doing it.
Like,
I was running in place, sideways though. So if that is a fact, do you think they'll explain that he ever goes back in time, or do you think that'll just be a thing? You'll be like, "Wait, when does he go back in time? Why did he tell him that?"
It'll probably be.
Will it be in this movie where he's like, "I gotta." He's like, "I gotta go back in time and tell him." How does he find out? Why doesn't he just go to Batman and tell him in the first place?
You mean in the past?
Yeah. Why does he go in the past to tell him? Why doesn't he just tell him he's standing next to him?
Oh.
So when the Flash figures out that Lois is the key to defeat Superman, why doesn't he just go, "Hey, bats, Lois is the key," instead of going back in time to before he fought Superman?
Oh, I see. Maybe they all.
Is it gonna happen in another movie?
Died. It's a timeline, Flashpoint, and all that stuff. Maybe it's one of those things where like
Superman wins at the end as a villain, and then Flashpoint he goes back and tells
Bruce Wayne.
And then in Justice League 2, they bring Lois and they just throw Lois Lane at Superman, and he just instantly gets rid of the mullet. I hope he has the mullet.
Well, it's because the so Superman died at the end of Batman v Superman, right?
Yeah, died in air quotes.
So if they want to continue that pattern, they just have Flash die at the end of this thing, but he didn't die. He just traveled in time. And then
this is going to be very confusing. I feel like this movie's not going to be enough. So there's speculation also. So this is completely irrelevant. Mm-hmm. That this hologram that
looks like
Bruce Wayne is not looking actually at. If you look at his eyes, he's kind of looking past it. But that is not Superman. That is Supergirl or Superwoman.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Because the legs are way too nice and petite to be Henry Cavill's muscular calves.
Cavill, he's making a choice. He's like, I have petite legs, Superman.
It's all upper body. He's got petite woman legs. He's got this huge. Have you seen him without? All right, real quick. He looks like he can't put his arms down. There's a scene where let's see.
He's at rest. Man of Steel at rest.
Henry Cavill shirtless.
Henry Cavill shirtless.
Look at this scene where he's running to look at clothes. He can't put his arms down. I'm not even kidding.
All right, let's cue this up. Let's take a look.
We're taking a look at this scene. It's called Clark Kent Stealing Clothes on YouTube.
I want to see the comments. I want to see the comment section.
Yeah, honestly. It's rainy and there's clothes everywhere.
This guy's like, well, time to
How did that door open? Oh, someone opened it.
536. Here's the groceries I'm delivering. Oh yeah.
Look at that. His arms look so small, but his upper arms are huge.
It's like his muscles are pulling his arms up.
Yeah, and but his elbows down to his hands are normal sized, and the rest of him is just like massive.
He skipped forearm day.
I like that scene too because it's like. Do you hear Zack Snyder going? Okay, now run out. Okay, now flex a little bit as you run. Okay, yeah, grab some clothes. Nice. Oh,
Socks.
good flex there. Good flex there.
I like how he grabs the socks. He's like, should I grab these?
All right, and also I have a question. He has a very hairy chest.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a beard.
Right.
How does he shave?
Do you mean how Superman shaves or how
does
he
Superman shave? Not Henry Cavill the man. How does Superman shave?
Like
the character Superman, because his hair is indestructible. Otherwise, every time he went through a fire, he would be bald.
They explained this in the comics. He uses his
Does he have a kryptonite shave?
Laser vision on like a mirror thing.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah,
complicated.
Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. Welcome to comics. Welcome to this comic books.
Okay, well, all right. So, any more thoughts on the Justice League trailer?
I feel bad for Cyborg.
He looks so bad.
He looks bad. And I just like really Cyborg's such a fun character, and they're just like, I don't know. It's because I don't know. It's just it's upsetting. I see the new Cyborg and I'm like, yikes.
I don't know why they didn't just make a suit and put a guy in it.
What do you mean?
Like Cyborg, just like make like a prosthetic suit around a dude.
Oh yeah. Instead of having it be all
the CGI it looks like he looks like he's made of metal shards. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a really bad decision. It would have cost so much less too. All right, we're gonna talk about our last trailer of the podcast, Connor. I know this has been a lot of work.
Last Jedi.
It's The Last Jedi.
How long have we been going for?
I don't even know. According to this, some time.
Do you know how to read that?
No, this is tempo measures. I don't even know what the heck. There's no time actually on the thing right now.
Oh, wow.
I don't really know how to set that. But we started around. We've been going for almost an hour.
Okay.
So The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. You watched this trailer.
Yeah.
What did you think of it? Compared to the last one. I wasn't a huge fan. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the first trailer.
Yeah, the last one was kind of like too. It felt too much. It felt too much of like a tease, in the sense of like it didn't get you excited. It was just like, this feels like more of the same, and it just felt like if it wasn't enough information. It felt like it was trying to overhype things we'd already seen, and it's like, that's weird. It's like somebody saying, "Here's this new and improved toaster oven." But like, don't look at it yet, because it's not done. We're not.
But like,
that's
it's gonna cook some
terrible
toast.
metaphor.
All right. So can I just say, for me, this movie looks like it's filmed very differently than the others.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're actually kind of like
the angles
putting
look
the
different.
shots together.
The colors look really bright and vague.
Yeah.
Like they just. It looks like a different.
It looks like well made.
It looks just weird to me. There's a lot of strange close-ups to people's faces. Like this scene here when she's training and then she does like this to the camera. Like, that looks very strange.
Oh, yeah. It's a little different.
Like that. All the ground. Okay. So this line here by Luke, I've seen this raw power before. I think that's a fantastic line.
Yeah, that's a good moment.
That's a great moment. So there's a lot of discussion that Luke's going to be a villain in this. What do you think on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Luke as a villain? Oh, that's kind of fun, but like, yikes to the... It kind of invalidates the first trilogy if he becomes a villain.
Yeah.
Like, as fun as that would be, it would be like, it's like, he went through all this just to become a villain like his father.
Right, yeah, I know.
It makes more sense that Ben is the villain. And like, I know the trailer's like edited... So that looks like Rey.
All right, so at the end, that's definitely a misdirect.
Yeah,
they're in a she's talking to Luke at a campfire.
I mean, that's fun. That's a fun idea.
Yeah,
but it's like, because we've never seen that. We've never seen the main character in the story go to the dark side.
Speaking of that scene there where Phasma's face is really close up with the electricity, that just looks so not like anything we've seen.
Oh yeah,
there's just a lot of scenes in this. I'm just like, whoa, this is new.
It's very different choices.
Yeah. Very bold.
I don't understand. It's weird. In this trailer, it feels like Finn is like a real kind of like badass, and part of me is like, wait a second.
He didn't even want to shoot somebody.
Yeah,
once.
I'm like, I don't understand. Like, how much character development does he go through in a coma? Maybe he wants.
I
revenge.
guess we'll find out though. Yeah, I mean, well, him and Phasma should have fought in the first one apparently, but like, this is not the right trailer. This is playing the first one. I hate when people do this.
I think the best part of the new trailer is all the Kylo Ren stuff, because he seems like great.
Yeah,
he's kind of in his element. He still seems like messed up, but in a way
great.
That's more
Honestly, that scene where he's about to looks like he's about to shoot his mother.
It's cool. It's cool scene.
Do you think that I feel like that was a bit of a spoiler? I wasn't a huge fan of seeing that.
And what is everyone saying? It's tasteless. It's tasteless, and I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
probably
just because. Well, why? Because
releasing this movie is probably tasteless. Like it's like you're either gonna release it or not, and it's like if I was gonna die and my last movie had to be a Star Wars movie, I'd want them to do it. Yeah, as long as I didn't do any stupid shit.
Carrie Fisher would not care about this.
Yeah,
it's not like they wouldn't want her to use. I feel like it's even more tasteless to take her out of the movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's
instead of not use the scenes that she filmed. You know what I mean? Apparently, she filmed all the way through episode 9. Like all her scenes were done.
I think here's the problem with the Star Wars trailers.
Okay,
is they're trying to build off the majesty of the Star Wars canon, right? Of like every game, book, or movie, the past decade of what has it been now? 40 years of Star Wars or something like that. Like they're trying to use that gravitas as a way to advertise instead of letting the trailer be informed by the mindset of the characters. The trailer should be a reflection of the tone of the film and the mind of the characters, and they're trying to make this as an epic, part of a legacy, right? It's part of the Star Wars legacy versus its own thing, and that feels more like it's a hype thing than it is a content thing.
Yeah. What do you think of these little Mowgli-looking things? These little penguin guys. What are they called?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's like Porg or something.
Porgs, yeah.
Yeah.
People are mad about those. Like, it's the next Ewoks! And then they...
Right. Well, I like the Ewoks.
Keyboards.
I think the Ewoks are great.
I'm not a huge fan, but, I mean, whatever.
I think the Ewoks are, totally overly hated.
I'm not a huge fan of the Ice Fox-looking things, though. They look a little too...
a little too weird.
They look a little too Star Trek for me.
Watch the whole movie is all the characters get killed and then it's just Pogs and the ice foxes hanging around.
Porgs and ice foxes. So we got a little good look at Snoke there.
Yeah,
I think he looks better.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of Snoke in Force Awakens. I was like, it just looks like a giant CGI character.
Abraham Lincoln, scary Abraham Lincoln.
Do you have any speculations on who he is?
He's probably new character.
You don't think he's someone old?
No, and I used to like the Darth Plagueis stuff, but then I was like,
that's too obvious.
They're not going to. Well, it's weird. It's not that it's too obvious. I mean, now it is. Now that everyone's cracked it up on the internet. Yeah. But I'm like, why would they ever do that? Why would they be like, remember this character who was mentioned once in the third Star Wars prequel?
Well, I feel like they could do it in a way.
Remember those?
I feel like they could do it in a way that
it's him.
That they could say it's this guy named Darth Plagueis, but and then if you remember it, you remember it. If you don't, you don't.
Well, I don't think they would do that. I think the whole point of this trilogy is to get away from the prequels, and what the prequels did is they tried to trap people inside the Star Wars canon to be like, yes, midichlorians, Camino, Jango Fett, remember all these things.
Let me just ruin my entire series real quick.
Yeah. let me ruin my life real quick. Clone Wars.
And it just cuts that picture of him when he sold it to Disney. And he's standing with Mickey Mouse with the most blank face ever. You ever seen that picture?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
I don't see that.
Real quick.
But yeah, it just feels like I don't think they would, as much as diehard fans would love to see iconography of the prequels reinterpreted into an actually awesome way and would be like, yeah, it's their I think their mission statement is never again the prequels.
Look at how sad he looks.
I feel like Goofy looks more sad. He's like, why did I have to be Darth Vader? It's okay. Now this is weird. Okay, so you got Goofy as Darth Vader, which is already strange. That's already fucked up. And then you have Donald as a stormtrooper. Yeah. So that's reinforcing the subservience of Donald to Goofy.
Do you notice how there's no Luke Skywalker though?
Is it
Mickey Mouse just looks like a Jedi. Luke's never wears that outfit. And then Minnie Mouse is
clearly Leia.
Clearly Leia.
And then the R2.
And then R2D2 has he's in the colors of the Sith, but he has the rebel.
That's super weird.
What a sad picture.
Yeah.
So anyway, real quick,
although if that was me, I'd be happy because I fucking loved it.
So in this image of the new AT-ATs, I don't remember what they're called.
They just look like the old ones.
Those are the old ones. You see the tiny ones there?
Oh, are these ones new because they're bigger?
They're much bigger.
Is that the new one? The Force Order. Build it bigger.
And it looks like, if you look at their legs, they have like these spiky things. I feel like they're going to try to do the trippy trips, and those are just
cut the thing. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Like learning from history.
This scene here, do you think it's going to be at the beginning or at the end of the film?
Ooh,
because if it's at the beginning, then it's just a rehash of Hoth. Because it's at a Rebel base. But this has been confirmed, a Rebel base on this.
I think it's the beginning. Because all the end stuff to me looks like fire, planet stuff, like destruction, indoor battle.
Yeah,
all the scenes that I view as the final scene seem like they're happening inside like a fiery spaceship or something.
It looks like they're trying to take down the spaceship. Yeah. Spaceship.
I like the visuals. The visuals are fun.
Oh yeah, this scene here with Kylo Ren, the red.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like I love the color. It's just such a bold color. There's
Yeah.
like nothing going on in the background. It's just straight up red.
When people talk about colors in movies, this is kind of getting at what they want.
Yeah.
Like just like
it's not film the movie and then put a color grade after.
Exactly,
It's like make decisions
on set
on the day of what the colors will be.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think Luke looks really cool. Looks good. I'm excited about him.
I'm excited for him.
I'm excited to see the backstory. I feel like we're gonna get more backstory of him and Kylo Ren and like what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the stuff everyone is excited.
Do you have a theory of who Rey is? Because apparently her parentage is like important.
She's probably Yoda.
She's a Yodidian.
She's a Yodidian. I don't know. Part of me doesn't 100% care unless it's something really cool. Like even if I don't want her to be related to Luke. I feel like that's weird now. I don't want her to be related to Han Solo or anything.
I'm thinking it's gonna be Kylo Ren's sister. That's what I'm thinking.
I'd love her to be a Kenobi. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
That's a big one as well. Yeah,
a Kenobi or who else? You know what? Lando. That'd be cool.
Lando is still not no. Everyone's like, please get Lando in these movies, and they're like, yeah, okay. And it's just there's no announcements of anything of him. But anyways, yeah, this trailer looks pretty good.
Do you see that scene with Mark Hamill in the rain? That's a weird scene. Do you can you go back to that?
Yeah,
real quick?
Go back to that real quick. I can go back to that.
I don't understand what he's wearing, or if that's his skin, or if he has robot body parts now.
I think that's just his outfit. Just he's all drenched.
Because it looks like that's his robot body parts.
He doesn't have any robot body parts.
He got a hand.
Just one hand.
Well, he might have got more. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's the bad guy because
I'm more intrigued in Leia's weird looking hood cloak. How does she see anything?
Oh yeah, that's true. How do you eat food with that? I feel like I had that problem with that when I had a beard, where I would eat food and it would get in my beard unless I specifically pushed all my beard hair away from my mouth and then ate with very small portions with a fork.
I really like the scene of Rey being looks like she's being force tortured. Mm-hmm. That visual looks really good.
By Snoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of out there. It's kind of different.
I guess it's a spoiler though.
Spoiler.
So I watched this trailer, and then the director apparently went on Twitter, was like, "Don't watch this trailer if you don't want spoilers." And I was like, "Great,
that's funny."
Thank you,
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because it's it makes sense of training by Luke and training by Snoke, if that's what that is.
Yeah.
So it's duality in films is always duality in storytelling is always a fun thing to do. It always you're able to get more out of one scene by having it happen again in a different context. You're able to layer on the meaning, which people find satisfying usually.
We should move on.
All right.
Let's do our opinions from the future.
Opinions from the future!
Opinions from the future.
What is it, 5 years?
5 years, yep.
Yeah, okay, so what'd you think of Black Panther?
Black Panther. Okay, in 5 years, it was good. You know how I said that thing where I was like, I'm really afraid because there's elements of it that feel like they were in a drawer in a script.
Yes.
That had been run since the 90s.
Yeah.
That is not what happened. In fact, it was the opposite. It was.
They wrote it on the day of. Is that
they
what
wrote it on the day. but it was predictive, right?
Right.
It was predictive of like the rest of the Marvel films, you know, like all the stuff that Marvel does now, which like you have characters who spend half the movie asleep and like half the movie is their dream. Like, do you know that weird thing they started doing?
Yeah, that's it's very acid trippy. You asked for acid trippy.
I did. I didn't know what I was asking for when I said that.
What did I do? They listened to you, Connor.
I meant more of like, you know, a little bit.
Right.
You got to streamline it. You got to streamline
the acid trips. Save it for season 3 of Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. That's when you want the acid trips.
Yeah, just acid trips. So that's what it is. No,
that's kind of fun if in Stranger Things
4,
they get older.
Yeah, they become teenagers and like
in high school.
They just start doing acid to try and like balance out them being like really
That's kind of cool.
Dual worlds.
I want to see that. I'd rather watch that.
They won't do that. They won't do that. So if it's 5 years, I guess the episode 9 should have come out, right?
Yeah, episode 9 came out.
But I never saw it.
You didn't see it. Well, you were in Europe at the time.
I was in Europe, yeah.
You were doing your...
I got invited by the Queen.
The queen of what do you call it? Fucking
the sausage queen of Chicago.
Sausage queen of Chicago, which is weird that she moved to Europe.
Yeah,
that was strange.
But yeah, I had some good sausages there. Those are pretty good. But
yeah.
You know,
they have no movie theaters in Europe. Fun fact.
No, they don't.
Or they outlawed it, right? Because it's part of Brexit.
Yeah, it's kind of. They were like, we really like the prohibition that they did in the United States. That worked for alcohol, but they want to do it for
You know what's weird? I don't hate the idea of prohibition for alcohol. I mean, I don't drink alcohol. That's why I don't hate that idea. But I think that's an interesting idea, right? Because it's like,
but it doesn't work.
What if you make something legal? Oh, that's true. It didn't work. But I was like, did it work though?
I mean, I'm sure it worked to an extent.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's working with movie theaters in England apparently. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I am curious about that because I do think I think it's interesting because I think that. This is kind of off topic.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
Go for it.
I think that like it's crazy how rampant alcoholism is just in the world, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like so part of me is like how much of that was under wraps during Prohibition era, right? But then I think about it and I'm like, well, don't people make the same argument for like weed, right? It's like, well, you have to keep it illegal, otherwise people are going to use it. But I feel like it's two different things. Where weed, it doesn't matter if people use it all the time because it's like. Not like I've never heard, and then somebody died the other day from weed. Well, no, it's like you never really hear that.
You don't hear it, but there have been.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. It's like
no, I'm not saying people are like dying of poison.
You got a heart attack from smoking too much pot.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about people are getting into cars and driving after getting crazy high. And, like,
yeah. That's the argument they made when it was getting passed. Is they would be like,
it did have like in Oregon when it was passed. Like I think. Automobile accidents went up like a significant percentage.
That risk is with alcohol too, but I feel
absolutely.
Like
I don't like any of it.
It's on the part of. It's interesting because it's whose job is it to socialize people into enjoying, you know, if they do take drugs like alcohol or weed, it's like. How do they? I'm saying so weird. How do they enjoy it responsibly? And you know, whose job is it to socialize that? Because schools don't do it because they can't really because there's controlled substances. So you expect it to be on the parents, right? But parents like don't want to do it. So you have children who are not being socialized to how to accurately, and appropriately
what is this
respond.
Conversation?
I was just curious. I'm just thinking about it. It's just on my mind lately.
All right. Well, you want to close it out?
Go for it. Yeah. Okay.
It's all you.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh
yeah.
So we talked a lot about a lot of fun stuff today.
We had a lot of trailers going on.
A lot of trailers. Oh boy.
But all right, we'll have a topic next week. Maybe we'll do that Pixar topic.
Yeah.
Really go in depth in Pixar.
I'm hype on that.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, thanks for checking us out and bye-bye. Show other people sometimes or whatever. Or don't. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
I care. I'm gonna cry about it. No, I won't. I'm proud of that.
Please don't make Connor cry.
I'm emotionally mature. Relatively.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.